Big developments tonight in the contentious battle over teacher contracts here in Clark County. Good evening, everyone. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Jim Snyder.
And I'm Marie Mortera. The Clark County School District and the Teachers Union will be going to arbitration after hitting a stalemate. Both parties will be in court tomorrow, as the district is also asking for a restraining order to stop alleged coordinated sick calls by teachers that have caused several schools to cancel classes over the last week and a half, and then again today.
Yeah, and we have team coverage on this important issue tonight because now, students are paying the price, caught in the middle of this. Our Kristen Drummond getting reaction from local families. But first, we'll start with crisis in the classroom investigator Tiffany Lane. You're going to break down where we are now, what it all means, and what happens next.
We're taking in a lot of information today. Now, we do know that today the district and the Clark County Education Association, the teachers union, met for the 11th time. Just a few hours ago, we heard from CCSD that the district declared an impasse, which is essentially meaning that they've hit a stalemate. And now the two parties will be going to arbitration, meaning a third party will get involved in the negotiations. CCSD in a statement today said in part, CCEA's latest proposal only deepened the deficit they would impose on the district and continues to divide our hardworking teachers. By increasing the financial burden it hopes to place on the district, CCEA continues moving farther away from any agreements. Now, in a response, CCEA said in part that arbitration does not happen like a light switch, and in the time it takes to resolve, CCEA is sad to say that under Superintendent Jara, 300,000 students will lose another year of instruction because more educators will quit. Their classes will be in the largest in the nation, and CCSD will fail to recruit the new educators needed to teach them. So how does arbitration work? The two parties have an agreed upon agency. That agency gives them a list of 7 arbitrators. One party crosses off an arbitrator, then the other party does the same until there's only one arbitrator left, and that will be who they will meet with. The Employee Management Relations Board that regulates labor relations between government agencies and unions says it often takes months just to have the hearing because of how busy arbitrators are.
And the arbitrator, who typically is from out of state, comes in and runs a hearing, much like a court hearing. Attorneys are present for both parties. They present witnesses, and they introduce documents supporting their position as to why they have the better proposal. And then the arbitrator makes the decision.
Now, after the hearing, it usually takes the arbitrators a few months to review everything and then make a decision. So the overall process could take a very long time. Now, tomorrow, CCEA and CCSD are also back in court. CCSD is asking the judge for a restraining order to stop alleged coordinated sick calls. As we've seen over the last week and a half, as you mentioned, 7 schools have had to cancel classes because of the number of teachers who have called out sick. The teachers union denying any involvement in these calls, but CCSD claims these are coordinated rolling sick out strikes. And public employees cannot legally strike in Nevada. But we will be in court tomorrow with an update about just what the judge decides and where we go from here. Again, a lot to take in here, and a lot of impacted students, teachers. A lot of people are just hoping for a resolution soon. But for now, back to you.
Centers for Disease Control following suit with the Food and Drug Administration by signing off today on an updated vaccine against the newest version of COVID-19.
Yeah, News 3 Steve Wilford tells us when the new shot will be available and what makes this one different than previous ones.
The Food and Drug Administration and the CDC say this new COVID vaccine has been tweaked to make it more effective against 2 or 3 new variants that we're beginning to see across the U.S.
The previous vaccine was a bivalent vaccine. This one is a monovalent vaccine.
Dr. Christina Madison, an associate pharmacy professor at Roseman University, explains what that means.
So it's very much targeted to be able to cover the newer variants of concern that we have that are currently circulating and that we believe will be active during the fall and winter months.
Here in Clark County, the Southern Nevada Health District says COVID variants making the rounds are the EG.5, which makes up more than half of our cases, along with the XBB 1.16 and XBB 1.5. So who is the CDC recommending get the new shot?
It's anyone with respiratory concerns, COPD, asthma, anybody who's immunocompromised, meaning that their immune system is not working as well.
Dr. Madison says others recommended for the new COVID shot anyone who's never been vaccinated, anyone over 65, and those with chronic health issues like diabetes. But despite the recommendations,
I just don't believe in the COVID vaccine whatsoever. I believe in natural immunity. I believe in eating healthy.
Joseph Newton says he'll pass on the new shot, and he's not alone, with some estimates showing fewer than 20% of Americans got a booster shot last fall. 84-year-old Claudette Parente says,
I had 2 of them.
And how do you feel about the new one now?
No, I'm not doing anymore.
Dr. Madison says if you choose not to get vaccinated,
We just want people to know where to go to find out information to get treatment, because we do have an oral medication that can be used for a majority of people once they've tested positive.
that information can be found online from the CDC and the Southern Nevada Health District. One other difference in this new COVID shot, this one is not being paid for by the federal government, so you might run into a little more paperwork from insurance this time around. And in case you're wondering, Dr. Madison says that it is safe to get this COVID shot as well as a flu shot at the same time.
Just click below and subscribe to News 3. You'll get more stories that affect your community.